Hello everybody, and in this video I'm going to show you and guide you on how you can troubleshoot your LCD screen on your duplicator 8. And before that, you just need to open the front and back panel on your duplicator 8 in order to get access to the both boards, the motherboard and the HDMI controller board. And in case the model you're going to print or the Rhino logo doesn't appear on your screen, I'm going to show you how. If you press on LED switch on, then just LED switch on, then the logo appears, which means your screen is fine, so nothing is defective or the printer works properly. And if it doesn't, then there might be four main reasons, which is could be first, it could be the HDMI cable, it could be the LCD controller board, and this ribbon cable right here, as you can see, which controls the screen to the HDMI controller board. And to proceed troubleshooting of the screen, what you need to do is, as I said, just remove the front panel and just make sure about the HDMI control right here. Make sure it's just secured properly on the pin, and once even you can just try to reset it on the board. And once on the back, you can do the same, just trying to reset the HDMI cable right here. And the cable beside the HDMI cable is what actually powers power on the HDMI controller board. So also just make sure this one is secured properly, is just plugged on the board properly. You can even reset this cable to make sure the LCD controller board receives power. And as you can see, the board, the light on the screen is now the light on the HDMI controller board is solid now. And if it's not, that means if it's blinking, there might be two reasons. One reason might be the HDMI cable, and the other reason might be the HDMI controller board itself. So one of these two might be defective. If you have a HDMI cable beside yourself, you can replace it and try to find whether the issue is coming from the HDMI controller board or the LCD controller board itself. And you can even reset this ribbon cable, which is connected to the LCD screen. You can reset it once from here and try and making sure the issue is not. And if all this works properly and you made sure the issue is not from the HDMI cable, is not from the HDMI controller board, and not even from the ribbon cable, then the issue might be from the LCD screen board, LCD screen, and you need to replace it to a new one and continue with printing. So this is all I can tell you for now. So as I told you, the issue might come from four components. One could be the HDMI cable, one could be the ribbon cable right here, and the one is from the LCD controller board or HDMI controller board. And the other thing I mentioned earlier, you just need to make sure the light on the screen the light on the board, on the HDMI control board, should be solid. If it's blinking, that means there is something wrong with the board or the HDMI cable on your duplicator 4, on a duplicator 8. And just here, I'm just trying to set up my camera and show you how you can actually reset the ribbon cable on your LCD screen. If I just can set this up, and I'm sorry for my. All right. If I just can turn this on. So as you can see, this is your ribbon cable, and this is your LCD controller board or HDMI controller board, and just make sure this is not upside down. It has to be secured in the right direction. From the side, it feels like golden, and this one is the brown. So this one has to be the up, and then you just make sure it's secured properly. Maybe sometimes it just didn't plug properly, or it's not